Alright, what's up guys? So, Hot Tea, she has uploaded a video titled Trisha Paytas Ended by Gabbie Hanna, who got ended by Graceffa, who first... What is this title? Okay, Trisha Paytas ended by Gabbie Hanna, who got ended by Joey, whatever his last name is, who first got ended by... So, Joey got ended by Gabbie, but what am I saying? Gabbie ended Trisha. We just gonna go ahead and get into this video. This title alone has just compressed my brain into this just something. I don't know what, but it's something. But anyways, make sure you guys go subscribe to my good friend Ray. This is her more well-known channel, but she does have her own personal channel, Ray Rahimi, and then her business channel, Build Your Pocket. So make sure you go subscribe to those channels, go show them love. But anyways, let's get into this video.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be, again, about Gabbie Hanna. Mainly, it's going to be about Joey Graceffa's response video to Gabbie Hanna's Escape the Nightmare video, and also about Gabbie's video in response to Trisha Paytas, constantly harassing her. So, yeah, this is going to be one tea-filled video. But before we get into it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post new videos every single day. Also, I'm doing a giveaway. Check out this video if you're interested. So, Joey Graceffa posted this video called Gabbie Hanna Needs to Stop in response to Gabbie's video that was called Escape the Nightmare, which is hilarious because then Joey was like, spoiler alert, Gabbie was actually the nightmare. By the way, if none of this makes sense to you, it's because you missed out part one of the video, which was Gabbie's initial video in regards to Joey Graceffa. So make sure you watch that video first. This is not gonna make sense otherwise. Before we get into the tea, can we talk about how gorgeous Joey looks? Fun fact, I used to have a crush on him when I was 16. This was way before he came out, but everyone would be like, he's so obviously gay, and I was so in denial. Okay, whatever, back to the video. Joey says that he and Gabbie were indeed close friends, but when she acts like the victim and says all my friends were fake and all that, it's her fault.
You do things, Gabbie, to make people not be your friends. What you did to me on Escape the Night is the reason we are no longer friends, and the reason why I talk badly about you being on Escape the Night.
He says that just because they were friends at some point, it doesn't mean that he could never speak out about what happened on set, which I totally agree with. He tells Gabbie to learn from Colleen because she had a baby just months prior to shooting and still endured the long hours while breastfeeding without ever complaining.
But Colleen didn't complain once, and she was my #1 supporter, making me feel good about things and helping me de-stress and telling me that everything was going to be okay.
Meanwhile, Gabbie, who was also Joey's friend, was not only not making his job any easier, but she was specifically making it a living hell.
By being disrespectful and rude, mean and foul to not only cast, but crew, screaming at the director, demanding things, and calling a production assistant a dumb is not how you act on set of one of your friends, not even just your friend, any set.
At the start of the video, Joey said
my thing is that I will be cracking jokes with, regardless either way, I'm gonna be cool with people. As far as I'll go, and my thing is I'll treat people as if I'm good friends with them. So it'll be one of two things, where we're joking around or I'm just being super friendly to them. But I can never, especially if it ain't even my own place and things, even if it is my own place, I'm still going to be respectful towards people, because it's for one, if you came to my place to shoot, you went out of your direction. My thing is you drove, okay, or caught an Uber or a Lyft, whichever you prefer. I know people have preferences and stuff, but you came to my house to shoot. My thing is you took time out of your day, your 24-hour day, to come over to my house and shoot. I can't be mad at you. I can't have no beef with you, none of that. So it's and that's what I've always said, the only way for me to be able to act crazy towards a person is if they act crazy towards me. So I don't know. I just don't. Gabbie and them weird dances got to me and stuff. So I'm yeah, if you got around them doing them weird dances, I can see why they this is all happening. But anyways, jokes aside though, I personally think it's Gabbie, you had to do something for these guys that just all come after you and stuff. it's, you know, only way that, like, we would be able to know is if, you know, we were actually there, but it's like it's too late for that. So, but anyways,
receipts, but at this point he says his main receipts were the people who were there. So he thanks Rosanna and everyone else who spoke out in defense of Joey on Twitter. Although he's trying to figure out how to get the footage that never aired, so that'll be interesting if that comes out. Joey brings up the fact that Gabbie kept saying that Joey was the one who started all of this drama. Joey was like, he would get asked about season 4 during interviews and he couldn't lie about it, right?
And I was honest. I said it was awful because one person in particular was awful and made it awful, but I never once said your name, Gabbie.
And only one out of all 4 seasons someone like had an issue with dying.
Oh, there was one in season 4 too.
Really?
Sure. Yeah, that was season 4 was my least favorite to film by far.
Why?
Just because
Drama.
of this one person on the cast who just made it hell.
Really? And how do you stay out of like not talking about drama? You never talk about things. I would call people out left, right, and center.
No, honestly, I could have, and I could have like.
Yeah, it's like if my thing is like, yeah, if he's not that person where it's like, oh, he's always talking about drama and stuff. Yeah, then it's kind of hard to, you know, believe that he would be the one to start it all. Like, especially he's a person, because that's how I am. I try to stay away from it, but then somehow I do get sucked into it. Now I'm just like, nah. And I'm like, whatever drama people try to start with me, I'm like, you just stay over there and try to, you know, do it. I'm gonna be over here focusing on myself and things. But yeah, it's like, you know, that's what people like that. It's like, man, I feel sorry for them because, you know, you're here honestly to just, you know, to create content, to entertain people, you know, just share memories with people. And then you just got those ones out there, they want the workplace to be toxic. And it's like, fam, I don't know if you're doing this just to have a story to tell or what, but it's like, go somewhere else and do that. But it's like, don't come to my place of business and do that.
It was a lot of receipts, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just guess I don't put out that energy.
People were able to figure out who it was based off your past actions. It wasn't hard for people to connect the dots because you've set the standard of who you are online.
Although I remember watching that episode and my stupid ass couldn't tell who it was, so I just had to check the comments and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. In my defense, I never watched Escape the Night. He also mentions the part where Gabbie said Joey and Daniel insisted she join the show. He said he never begged or pleaded for her to join, and in fact, he was the one doing her a favor.
Yes, I wanted her to be in it because she was my friend at the time. She was going through a lot of shit. A lot of people did not like her, still don't like her. And as a supportive friend, I wanted to give her this opportunity to be on a show that has thousands of fans and the opportunity to be on this platform that has like a billboard and a lot of respect towards it.
This part I don't 100% believe. I think Gabbie's involvement would have made the show more interesting and a lot of more people interested. So don't act like you did this all for Gabbie, but you know, it might be partially correct. Who knows?
I'm sorry that I was being a good friend and inviting you to be a part of something bigger, but go ahead, live in your delusional world. I'm sure it's comfy there for you.
I love this though, not gonna lie. I've never seen Joey be so outright savage. He also brings up the ADHD thing, saying that half the cast has ADHD and they never acted like that. Although ADHD does differ greatly in severity and the symptoms, take that into consideration. Moving on to
then she must have like, I don't know. I don't want to be the one to make assumptions, but, you know, just kind of basing my, you know, response to what Ray just said, I think she has a severe case of ADHD where it's like, it's a tad bit stronger. Like, there's ADHD and then there's SADHD, and it's super, you know, I don't know what ADHD stands for, but super, find out what it stands for. There you go. That's what Gabbie has. Not to make assumptions, allegedly, my words, not factuals, but just what I will overall have to say about it. So, I'm just going based off of, you know, just the evidence that has been gathered up on the evidence table. So that's all I'm saying. But anyways,
food thing, Joey says Gabbie did not fill out the dietary restrictions form until the day that they were on set.
Miss Gabbie, can we do a little BTS?
Of course.
How is she? Look at, she's got her yellow hair on.
We're doing that.
She's practicing her script.
Filling out my medical information.
It's just insane to me that with food being such a big deal for Gabbie, she didn't even bother to fill in the form on time. Like, girl, if that's such an important factor for you, you should have been more diligent with it.
Yeah.
Joey also takes a minute to defend Daniel, who went above and beyond for everyone on set, including Gabbie.
He had a million things going on, and yet he still managed to go to Whole Foods and get you your 3 healthy meals that were so specific, and yet you still didn't even eat them. You literally just left them out to rot.
Then he talks about the wardrobe.
Wow.
He says that Gabbie approved her costume during the first fitting and actually loved it.
As
The
you
issue
just get
is, Gabbie,
slingshot,
you had 2 more fittings
you gonna eat
after we
this
made you
food.
this
Okay,
custom
maybe
look
not
that
that
you just didn't
aggressive.
show up for.
Just
They even had their costume designer, who was 9 months pregnant by the way, drive all the way across town to Gabbie's music studio only to get stood up. Ridiculous. He said
Wow.
things took a turn when Gabbie refused to come back on set after day 2. After wrapping up production at 4 a.m., the PA tells everyone the call time for the next day, only to get cussed out by Gabbie, and then she refused to show up, so they of
That's
course had to
crazy.
tell her manager because she was under a contract, so she can't just not show up to work. What the fuck?
Her manager was extremely apologetic and was basically saying that he was going to drop her after this. Like, it was extremely unprofessional, and he's had so many issues with her.
So she ended up
Wow.
showing up the next day, obviously. She had to, but Joey and the director were already figuring out how to kill her off because they couldn't just have that negativity on set.
Yeah.
So we planned the double death, which a lot of people were upset about, but now you know the real reason why there was a double death.
He spoke with Gabbie the next day. Gabbie started complaining to him and playing the victim like always. Joey was in producer headspace and just wanted everything to go by peacefully, so he was really nice to her.
Nodding my head like, yeah, girl, don't worry, everything's fine, like, we're good. But in my head, I'm like, this girl is screwing me over.
This is the part where I mainly had a problem with when Gabbie explained it. Like, Joey and Daniel were making it seem like everything was okay and they were perfectly fine, but in reality, Joey was actually not okay with her and had hard feelings. But Joey says that he's proud of the way he handled things because he could have gone really hard on her, but he also didn't want her randomly walking off before wrapping up her part.
I had to do what I
Makes
had to do
sense.
to protect me and protect the ship. You're pretty unstable, and I don't know what to expect from you, so I'd rather pretend that we're good than actually deal with the craziness that you bring. You're scary.
In response to Gabbie complaining about set hours, Joey says that's just how production works and that she was getting paid thousands of dollars to sit around in a makeup room.
Sounds like a really hard gig, Gabbie, to just have to do nothing but get paid thousands of dollars.
You know what I'm now just
I'm
realizing?
like, fam, what? Whoa, wait a time out. Okay, I know that this isn't the right time, but I'm just saying, like, hey, yo, I'm like free for a while. Like, getting my thing, I don't even know what the show is about, but I'm like, I am down. Like, getting paid thousands of dollars, I'm like, fam, you guys can, I will do my own stunts. I will legit walk to the store if I need to get the foods and drinks that I need. Like, I wouldn't even bother people. I legit just show up just like, hi, how you doing? Record my stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. Like, they'd just be like, yeah, Tyler, he was in and out. Like, he wasn't there to, you know, drama was starting up. We pointed at him. This dude was gone before we can even point at him. So, yeah, I'm like, dang, it's like, bro, I need to get put on a YouTube TV show or something of some sort. I'm saying to anybody out there watching, hey, call me Ray. I'm saying if you want to do a YouTube TV show, I'm down. I'm 100. Yeah, if Ray were to do a YouTube TV show, I know for a fact it'll be like one of those comedy shows that'll get bought out by like CBS, and then we end up flying out to like the CBS headquarters. I have a contract dispute, and I just go right back home and just start up some more YouTube drama and stuff. But no, anyways, I'm saying like that would be kind of cool to do something like that. But
Realizing
back to
is
the
that
video.
Trisha Paytas and Gabbie Hanna are exactly the same person. Well, Gabbie's a slightly better version, but didn't Trisha also sabotage herself when she was on Big Brother? Like, what the fuck is up with these YouTubers and not being able to work with other people? He said once she finally left the show, everything
Content,
was...
like that's overall why people do stuff like that. It's, you know, it's for content and content only. It's, you know, it's not something where it's like, oh, I'm having legit issues or I'm having problems with the staff or the group or the crew, whoever, you know, like, nah, it's like they see it as like this. They're not getting paid enough, so they think, oh, okay, I'm just gonna do this, stir up some drama, come right back home. Once I'm like promoting it and talking about it, then come back home with a big giant video about, oh, how I had beef with Joey and Daniel and whoever else was there on this thing that this like shindig thing that they had going down. But yeah, it's like it's making more money for them. So on top of them getting paid for this thing that this Joey guy was doing, yeah, then you're getting paid more money. So it's kind of like a hidden contract, you know, within yourself and things. So, but anyways.
Was completely different. Everything changed and went so smoothly and perfectly. Then he shares a story about a week after they finished the show when they had to do the promo shoots, and even though Gabbie was contractually obligated to show up, she was complaining about having a gym appointment that she couldn't miss.
So she was trying to basically be on set as least amount of time as possible, and she kind of was just thinking like, oh, I can just get my makeup done, shoot out, and go. But that's not how it works. She's just so entitled to feel like her time is more valuable than others.
Now on to Gabbie's video on Trisha Paytas.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't overall, that's just something that I can't do. I make sure like my schedule is like cleared. I'll be that one to be like the last one to leave and just be like, so y'all sure I ain't gotta do nothing else. Like, I'm alright, like, my Uber's gonna be here in like 5 minutes. Like, are you sure? Like, he, you know, they still kind of far out. Like, I can't cancel it. Are you sure? I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm now getting into I'm now closing the door. I am putting the seatbelt on. Like, they're like, oh wait, we need. I'm like, say less. I'm like, okay, get out the car. But no, it's like, yeah, I can't be that person where I show up to something or agree to show up to something, but I'm just like, oh, I gotta hurry up and go. If I'm not, you know, going, then I'm not going. That, but I will make sure people know that beforehand, where I'm just like, hey, I can't do this show and things, and you know, just leave it at that. There wouldn't have been no drama or no problems in the first place. But anyways.
Yes. In true Gabbie Hanna series fashion, she did not say a single thing about the topic of the video in the first 20 minutes. Then she finally gets to the Trisha shit. Gabbie says that Trisha was the one who made the beef public. In her Why Don't Trust Gabbie Hanna video, she says Trisha lied about and gaslit Gabbie a lot, and so Gabbie brought Trisha on her podcast because she wanted it all to be over. She said, the reason I'm doing this is because after speaking personally with Trish, both on and off camera for her episode of Burnout, I thought her harassment and slander would end. The day the podcast went up, she immediately made 2 videos doubling down on lies and furthering this weird narrative that I'm harassing, stalking, and obsessed with her.
You even addressed this, I don't know if this was also in the podcast, about her telling Team Star and John over the summer that I called her, and I didn't. She goes, yes, you did. Oh, she still thinks that I called her in the summer. And we're not friends, and we weren't friends. Gabbie's not my friend. And on that note, we weren't friends. I just gotta be a lot more clear with this. The only way I relate to this is like, I thought sometimes I was dating people I wasn't dating. The reason I made the video is because she put my name out on the Instagram story first. She vehemently up and down denied that that happened. And I was like, no, I know, because that's why I made the video. I did not want to make a video, but then I saw that you put my name. Like, I know that happened. Back on that point of how she was like, I never said your name first, you made the video. And I'm like, Gabbie, like, on the note of her saying, like, I never put those text messages out first with your name, and if you did, so she did send me a cut of the video. She could send me the edit, and that was really cool for her. Gabbie was very nice. The whole point of me going on this podcast was because I kind of like to squash things. In my head, we really did squash it, and I do think Gabbie is a really nice person, but she did send me the edit. I did give the approval. She is very nice. She was like, that first hour and a half we were there, I was like, this is nice.
Gabbie said that she had told Trisha her goal with the podcast episode. She wanted to squash the beef and move forward. She never wanted it to be about 2 women being petty. And that's why she cut out the fight clip between Gabbie and Trisha, which I made a video on, so check it out if you haven't seen it already.
I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I don't think that I'm going to be including most of just like the drama between us, just because I really wanted this to be about moving forward and leaving that stuff behind.
By the way, this is what Trisha sent Gabbie after the podcast. She was like, thanks for having me. I enjoyed our off-camera conversations the most. You've gone through some intense shit that I can't even fathom. So just know sometimes you are the victim and the internet doesn't matter, and I'm glad you have peace, stability, and happiness in your life right now. You really can text or call me anytime. I know we don't see eye to eye on most things, but I have a ton of compassion and I do admire you speaking what matters. I respect your realness. It's rare in the world of fake. Excited to see the pod. Have a great night. You guys won't believe what happens next. Like, Gabbie says, that means a lot to me. And all these nice things. Like, they're on good terms. But what the fuck? Is this bitch serious? Why be so fake if you're gonna go ahead and make 2 videos shitting on her? Also, here's a screenshot.
Like, yeah, it's like just, that's what I was about to say. I'm like, just for you to like, okay, after those messages and then start record. Because I honestly, what I feel like, you know, when stuff like this happens, or it's like, okay, after, so there's the podcast, and then there's a text message conversation, and then there's Trisha Paytas making videos. At some point in time, Trisha sat down and thought, like, what did Gabbie mean when she said that? What was she truly trying to say? What was she truly doing? Why was she sitting like that? She moved her hand at 10 minutes and 15 seconds of the podcast. Why was she moving her hand like that? And then, yeah, it's just that overthinking thing. And then, yeah, she, went back home and made those 2 videos and stuff. So, that's why I'm like, hey, yo, my advice to all content creators out there, work with people that you feel comfortable with. Work with people that are actually your friends. Not your, friends, but I'm saying, like, people that, like, off camera, like, there's nothing different from when you guys are off camera. Like, off camera, y'all are still the same way that you are on camera. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, I know people probably would ask me, like, overall, like, that's the thing. I'm like, I want to collaborate with people that I'm cool with. So it's like, for an example, if I were to ever, collaborate, the day where I do collaborate with, like, Ray, I would like to hope and think one day we do. But, yeah, it's like, we're cool with each other, like, off camera. We don't be, like, doing no, like, weird stuff or just being weird towards each other and things. Like, I feel like that, the interactions we've had off camera where it's, like, pretty much, like, through, messaging each other, I feel like that would be the same thing where it's, like, we're overall just gonna be cracking jokes, laughing, having a good time. Like, I feel like that's what friends should do. But it's like, if we're only going to be friends on, like, camera and stuff, but then off camera we're, like, the worst of enemies, it's like, no, I don't want no friendship like that. That's weird. And I'm like, and I think people, they try to do that because they hear it happening a lot in Hollywood. Like, Hollywood, when you see it in movies where there's actors, they'll have, like, good, like, on-screen chemistry, but when they get off screen, it's like, they're not good. For an example, there's this very old TV show from, like, the 50s, 60s and stuff. It's this old TV show called I Love Lucy. It's like a show I remember me and my mom, like, grew up watching and stuff. But anyways, so on that show, there's these 2 characters on there named Ethel and Fred. And they were, like, portraying as, like, a married couple. But in reality, like, them 2 did not like each other. They had beef with each other. And I think people will see or hear stuff like that, but more of a modern version, or will hear about it through, like, agents and other Hollywood people. Because, I mean, these guys live in Cali. And I don't know. I'm just guessing. But then they overall will hear that. And then we'll be like, oh, well, when I could do that, then, make money off of it. And it's like, no, Hollywood, it's like, no, them guys is like, they're forced to, like, okay, put all them differences aside, overall, let that stuff go and work. Like, get your stuff out of the way. I mean, they even do that. You hear about that stuff in wrestling, WWE. And yeah, it's like, it only can work when you guys are forced. But it's like, when y'all ain't forced, then it's like, it's just going to just be all off. Like, it's just going to be a thrown off, like, relationship between the both parties. And so I just think that it just won't work when it's with YouTubers, where it's like actors or whoever, it's just maybe, but like at the end of the day, even then you hear it where it's like actors be like, no, I'm walking off set because I don't want to work with this person no more. Like, that's when they being truthfully honest. And I'm like, that's what people just, in situations like this with Trisha Paytas, Gabbie Hanna, Graceffa, everybody else, I'm like, yo, you guys just need to be truthfully honest about how you feel about that person. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. I know for me, I would not work with somebody that I don't like, somebody that I have problems with. And I'm just like, look, if we can't put that stuff aside and be cool, I'm not working. Because I'm like, I know it's just going to be some drama and stuff. So anyways, because I like to be petty. I'll do some stuff where I'll throw something at you. So I'm like, I can't be in no situation like this. Sorry, but I'm not really sorry. But that's just how I overall feel. But anyways, back to the video.
Of Trisha approving the podcast go live. She literally sent her the podcast after cutting out the clips that she wanted out and was like, hey, if you want any clips that you want out, go ahead and let me know. Trisha was like, I'm sure it's fine. I just want to make sure there's nothing else that would cause more drama.
Where it's like you cut out like that. I mean, you guys just like, I mean, I guess it can, but I'm just like, with me, I know when I do podcasts, I just be talking like nonstop and stuff. I really don't like cutting things out because I'm like, people probably would like to know how I feel about a certain thing or whatever, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, I usually don't cut things out. I try, even if I were to do like a podcast with somebody, I'm just like, let's talk about some things where it's like, okay, like, we ain't gonna get canceled or it ain't gonna, people gonna, some stuff where it's like, I have to cut it out. So, but anyway.
But then she was like, it's good to go. Thank you for sending it to me. Honestly, as long as we're good, it's whatever. So, like, Trisha completely approved of the episode. She watched it before it went live.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Didn't Trisha later blame Gabbie for painting a false narrative on the podcast? Then why didn't you just say something
She
when
didn't like
Gabbie
it
asked you about
anymore.
it, Trisha?
And then she put up 2 videos calling me a liar, saying that you didn't know me and that we weren't friends. Trisha, the pieces that I edited out were for you, and you know that. I edited out all the places where I was literally confronting you with like the evidence of shit, and you were like getting super defensive and weird about it and lying to my face.
This I agree with. I know everyone on my last video was kind of mad at me because I sounded like a Gabbie stan. I promise you I'm not on her payroll, but it's hard to argue with logic. The clips that Gabbie cut out really did make Trisha look bad. Unless there are even more clips that Gabbie cut out that she didn't show at all, she did Trisha a huge favor by cutting those parts out. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my video on the fight between Gabbie and Trisha,
Yeah,
but
good
here
video,
is
good video.
a short clip from the cutout parts.
Dude,
Because you're a character online that I talk about, Gabbie.
but I'm not a character, I'm a human being.
Gabbie, I never met you before this.
Yes, you have.
Oh my
Multiple
God.
times. You literally tweeted, every time I hang out with Gabbie, we never get a selfie and it upsets me.
We've never hung out. We've
Why
never
did you
hung
tweet
out.
that then?
Gabbie, please just bring it up right now. Like, I can't do this anymore. This is like insane. This is so insane.
November 22nd, 2016, buying a VIP ticket to your show. Yes, yes, yes. November 19th, 2016, my obsession with the Gabbie show has been so unreal. I don't even understand. She's the most amazing thing on YouTube right now. May 10th, 2017, every time me and the Gabbie show are together, we never get selfies. It makes me extremely depressed.
This is like, but this is like this is a delusion.
Okay.
You're gonna believe what you want to believe, Gabbie, and I
Trisha, It's
can't.
not about believing what I want to believe. It's about like texts and like
Okay.
videos.
If that is your reality, it can be your reality. Like, I literally, like, it's fine.
Like I was cutting out shit where you were being toxic as hell.
It's also
Yeah.
ironic that Trisha's created this narrative
I forgot about that. That's just cringe, man. Like,
that Gabbie's obsessed with her when Trisha literally sent this text to Gabbie being like, I love you, I'm like your stalker. Like, Trisha, why go out of your way to make Gabbie think you like her when you actually fucking hate her guts? I just don't understand you sometimes. And by sometimes, I mean all the time.
Trisha, listen. I'm totally willing to concede to you that you did not care about our friendship and that it did not mean anything to you. But I've also come to realize you have a very weird, skewed perception of what friendship is. Like, you literally said Ethan and Hila weren't your friends.
I don't know if I call them my friends. They're very nice. They are very nice and they do check up on me and stuff like that, but it's not like...
Here's my theory about Trisha, and I know this because I'm kind of like this too. I think Trisha has this huge fear of rejection, so she always tends to underestimate the strength of her relationships with people, so she doesn't feel rejected if she finds out the other person doesn't feel the same way. Or if something goes wrong, she doesn't get as heartbroken, you know? Gabbie also shows
Makes
these
sense.
texts, which is in double speed, by the way, but these are the texts that she and Trisha have shared over
Yeah,
the
I
years,
can
and I'm
read all
just gonna
those.
let it play for you
I've read
guys,
every word.
just so you can see how much these two people texted. I don't
I've
even
seen
text this
heart
much with
emojis
my
and the
actual
laughing
friends.
emoji.
Like, how can Trisha say that not only were they not friends, but she never actually liked Gabbie? Also, Trisha was one of the very few people in Gabbie's life who
Like, even if you pause, like, you can't even read that.
texted her
Like,
about the rice gum situation, which I actually appreciate very much. Like, that's very sweet of her. But then she goes on Gabbie's podcast saying that she doesn't know much about the rice gum situation. Like, bitch.
I had heard about it and I just thought it was like an online... Because I mentioned it once and I was like, oh, and the rap battle sucked. I didn't even know what it was. I had no idea what you did. I didn't know it was that. That's fucking weird. I thought you guys were like went back and forth with like a rapper or something.
But she was the one texting me being like, you need to go to the police.
About this Gabbie show risk situation, like, holy shit. Guys, Gabbie is, without a doubt, the sweetest, like, nicest, like, non-confrontational person, like, I've ever known and met. She's just so lovely. Tries to stay out of drama, just tries to be
4
nice.
years
And it's crazy.
ago.
I saw the snap, and, like, holy shit. No matter if you are pushing their buttons to the extreme, like, don't fucking touch people.
Another crazy random lie from Trisha is her telling Gabbie that she's never watched her videos before when she has literally told her multiple times that she loves her videos. Like, what the f, Trisha? Which is it?
As soon as I started like getting on the I Hate Gabbie train, I became like obsessed. I never watched any of her vlogs. I think it was like a hate watch thing. For me, it got me interested in you. You know, when people were like talking about you, because I like never watched a video before that. I was like,
I've said this once, I'll say it again. Trisha is a pathological liar and she needs help
Yeah.
because this is not okay.
But what's f***ed up is when
Yeah,
people
weird
called you out for
stuff.
those tweets, you went back and deleted them. That is so, like, for real manipulative. That's gaslighting.
Wow.
That's narcissistic abuse.
Oh, and then Trisha made this alleged lie up that Gabbie went up to her house.
Been harassing Gabbie Hanna and bullying Gabbie Hanna for how long? And now you're going out and saying Keem's gonna be responsible if Gabbie Hanna does something to me. Gabbie Hanna is gonna like break in your apartment and beat you up. You're just saying
I
that
think I
dumb
know
shit
this.
to harass Gabbie Hanna more.
You asked David and Jason about the security footage. Like, where's yours?
all this crazy stuff that I showed up to his house. I've never done that. I was like, there would be camera footage.
You said that I'm a stalker. You told people you were afraid of me and that I was harassing you.
I've actually never dealt with an actual psychopath, and I'm not saying that lightly. And I'm not. This is a psychopath. Like, look up the definition of a psychopath.
Gabbie is gross and she's scary, scary.
I'm like, I'm like, stuff like this is just too much energy, man. I do not have the time. Like, it's just, man. That's why I'm like, look, I'm fine with where I'm at with YouTube. Like, I mean, it'll get to a point where I do like collaborate, you know, with friends and, you know, people like that I'm cool with on YouTube and stuff. But like, I'm friends with them. Like, no, I am friends. I talk with these guys outside of videos. Like, outside of this video, me and Ray was just, what were we talking about? I think it was Gabbie's, like, OnlyFans. Yeah, because she posted on Instagram. By the way, follow Ray on Instagram. But, yeah, she posted about how she was, like, she accidentally paid another month for, Gabbie Hanna's, OnlyFans thing. And I was like, yeah, we were talking about that and things. I was saying how, like, behind I'm in her videos. And then even there's at times where I'll, like, react to Ray's videos and stuff. And I post a lot. So I'm like, the fact that when she does, like, check out or watch one of my videos and comments on it, then I'm like, hey, yo, dope, cool. So it's like, yeah, we be watching each other. But I post a lot. So I don't expect everybody to be watching all my videos. Because I'll post, like, freaking 5-7+ videos a day and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, back to the video.
Scary individual, scary. She's obsessive, even before I met her.
Yeah, you are a monster.
You're scary, obsessive,
but yeah,
and
this is just too much.
You are the scariest. So insane.
She is an actual, like, evil person.
You're a psychopath. You're a psychopath.
You are crazy obsessive.
There's a lot of,
it's scary.
Bitch.
Peas.
Scariest monster on the internet.
Gabbie, you are scary and dangerous. This is scary and dangerous.
She said psychopath. She said psychopath. Oh, a lot of peas.
I get why people don't talk about her because it's scary.
24-hour security outside my house with your picture. I'm scared for my life, you dumb son of a bitch. Because your obsession with me is weird.
You're scary. Leave me the alone. Texting me and harassing me.
I'm literally looking to move because we're close to each other. I just don't even want to even see you or breathe your essence because you're fucking. You're a psycho, and I'm more scared of anyone hurting me than you. Bitch, get some help.
Terrifying.
You are a crackhead. Actual evil scum of the internet.
Like, what?
This is Trisha's word against Gabbie's, but I guess you can decide for yourself who you trust more. Although if you still trust Trisha more, I really do doubt your intelligence. Trisha Paytas is the absolute queen of projecting. You're scaring us. Also, apparently Jason Nash accused Trisha of harassing and stalking him for no reason, which Gabbie says is exactly what Trisha is now doing to her.
First of all, if they're going to accuse you of harassing and stalking them, there's literally no paper trail there. There's no restraining order, right?
They tried to say that I was like, I was violent towards David. I'm like, all this crazy stuff that I showed up to his house. I've never done that. I was like...
Gabbie says that what Trisha did to her over the years and the constant abuse made her suicidal.
Literally dancing to me having a mental breakdown? Are you you're sick for that, and you know it.
But Gabbie, don't you also mock people with mental illnesses on your TikTok? Like, you can't have it both ways, hon. You can't be a troll who doesn't care about anything and then simultaneously criticize
people
others for doing the exact same thing.
It was funny. I remember when that was just a tweet that I came across when I was beefing with some like, you know, just people that I was beefing with, not trying to, like, you know, promote them or anything, but yeah, there were some people that I was beefing with, and I remember that was one of the things that they always would call me out on, is that I, you know, will overall, like, delete their comments, because I'm like, comments is stupid. It's like, the majority of the comments is you guys calling me the N-word. Like, why would I want that stuff to be on my channel? No, it's like, I try, for the most part, have, like, a positive, like, you know, channel and things, where it's just, you know, I mean, I might react to stuff like this and whatever, but it's at the end of the day, I try to promote people and things, you know, help people grow and so on. But no, I remember that, you know, some haters of mine was getting on me for deleting comments just for them to turn around and do the same exact thing. Like, it was like the main guy that was, like, overall making videos on me. I remember that he posted about some stuff like that, saying, like, oh, I had to delete this comment, and I'm like, wasn't she just getting on me about that? Like, yeah, you'll see where it's like when people, they'll do crap like that, do this, like, call you out for some stuff, but then turn around and do the same thing. So
then she moves on to talk about how much Trisha copies her in terms of clothing, copying her cleaning series, writing a poetry book after she did, and even copying her music video.
I wish I would have seen this sooner, because I would have handled the situation a lot differently. This is disturbing, but I'm the obsessed one, right? This is clearly not a parody, because when Trisha does parody, she does parody. There's no mention of me or my Shut Me Up video anywhere in it. She's just copying me. You're so scared of me because I'm so obsessed with you, but you took my video to a director to rip off and then practice my moves in your mirror. At the bare minimum, this is plagiarism.
And then she talks about the herpes thing. Of course, how can it be a Trisha versus Gabbie video without that being brought up?
If you find out that somebody your friend or loved one is sleeping with could potentially have a life-threatening or incurable disease, tell them. Because then you're withholding important information to somebody that could save their life.
Guys, I really do want to know what you think about this. Don't you think that Jason would have been extremely grateful to Gabbie if Trisha actually did end up having herpes? I don't know, man. Food for thought. Also, another
I would want somebody to tell me some stuff like that, where it's like, if I don't know, and then I'm like, I would want to know that. So I definitely would just, I would approach them and be like, hey, through the woodworks, I ain't gonna say who, but somebody told me that you might have an STD. I don't want that, okay? I don't want no stuff like that in my life. I don't want to live with that for the rest of my life. So yeah, that's why I'm like, hey yo, like, don't be afraid to tell me that type of stuff. But it's like, I ain't trying to live with that for the rest of my life. Like, you got something, you want to bring everybody down with you. No, I ain't trying to be in no relationship like that. So yeah, I definitely would want to, know that. And I would definitely go out, get tested, all that stuff, make sure I'm safe. But yeah, it's like, I feel like if it had been the other way around, where it's like, if somebody were to tell Trisha Paytas that, she would go out and, oh man, Trisha Paytas would have had a field day with that. Oh my, like, imagine if everything that happened was the other way around. Like, Trisha Paytas is still herself, but then it was just like roles was reversed and things. Oh man, Trisha Paytas, you double the amount of videos that she's doing now, so.
Lie that Trisha got exposed for. Before she ever met Jason, she literally texted Gabbie being like the only people she knew on the Vlog Squad billboard were her and Jason. But then when she and Jason started dating, she pretended to never have known him, which weirded Gabbie right out. So why would she think that Trisha would be truthful about not having herpes? Right?
So when I found out you had unprotected with him, I was like, heads up, because you were telling him you didn't know who he was, and you did. And that's up, dude.
You guys, I kind of see her side here, because we're talking about a pathological liar. Who knows what kind of STDs this has? She's a fucking liar. Also, Trisha knew that Shane was the one who told Gabbie that Trisha has herpes. So why did Trisha go so hard on Gabbie but not Shane?
I think I brought your name up because, like, obviously that's what I heard it from Dustin, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. And then when I brought it up to Shane, he did say, well, I don't remember telling Gabbie. Not like I never tell Gabbie, like, I don't remember. And I was like, why would you even say it?
Another random lie from Trisha is that she would keep saying that Gabbie asked her to go out to Trisha's birthday, but she literally invited her.
Asked to come to my birthday party, and I said yes.
I just remember being like, you're like, oh, you're having a party, like, and that's what, and I sent you the invite, of course, but I don't remember talking like that.
I didn't even ask you about the party. You just sent me the invite.
Then they exchanged these texts about the herpes thing. Trisha was like, if I'm being honest with you, you told Jason I had herpes, and that because we had sex, I had herpes. That is the reason I don't respond, way before we even started dating. I don't have herpes. If I did, I'd be an open book about it, and if I did, it's also no one's business but mine and my partner's. Gabbie goes, first of all, I didn't tell Jason you had herpes. I told him a very close person to you told me you did, and I told him to make sure he's safe, which is what a good friend would do. If you found out your friend was having unprotected sex with someone who you've been told has herpes, you would tell him to be safe. I didn't pull that info out of my ass. It was brought to me, and I care about Jason and all my friends. So they weren't on good terms, but then out of nowhere, Trisha sings Gabbie's song on her story.
From the start. I just hope you prove me wrong. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. It's genius.
And then they exchanged texts and everything was fine, so Gabbie figured Trisha just accepted her apology. Gabbie talks about how Trisha randomly would just be like, I feel like you don't like me for no reason, even though Gabbie had been so overtly nice to her, and that she did the same thing to Hila Klein.
I think the problem is maybe that Trisha does think that Hila doesn't like her, which isn't true.
This isn't me being high and mighty and snobby and I don't know whatever she's saying about me. She was saying, like, I'm too good for the show. It's like, I've told her that I'm personally a fan of this show. I don't know, it's like there's just no winning.
Gabbie says Trisha wants Gabbie to be mean to her because she doesn't know how to be nice herself, but I think it's just because Trisha's insecure about how people feel about her. Gabbie also wants to make it clear that she doesn't want to be friends with Trisha, she just wants to be left alone. Also, apparently Trisha was telling everyone that Gabbie begged to write a song for her, and Daniel Preda also told Gabbie this. They exchanged these texts. She's a pathological liar and definitely in an awful light online right now. Just choose carefully. I don't want her making a video video on you or something wild. Oh my god, Daniel and I have the same theory about her being a pathological liar. And Gabby DiMartino said the exact same thing. Apparently, Trisha was literally going around town telling everyone that Gabby told Jason she had herpes. So Gabby just told one person, Trisha's boyfriend, but Trisha told the entire world because she then made a whole ass YouTube video on it.
She goes on to tell people she harasses me, she harasses me. How many videos have you made about me? You're truly the fakest bitch I've ever met.
Oh my god, I agree. Actually, it's a toss-up between Trisha Paytas and my psycho ex-roommate who tried to kill me. Also, Trisha blackmailed Gabby.
Imagine that, like, fight going down. Ray's roommate and Trisha Paytas. Now, that would be a fight where I'm like, okay, like, that's gonna be like Stone Cold Steve Austin and Booker T fighting in that grocery store all those years ago. That's honestly what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be one of those fights where you're just like, hey yo, this is gonna be entertaining. Like, I legit like unfold out the chair and stuff, kick my feet up, and I'm like, no, I gotta watch this.
You know, which fun fact my psycho roommate did to me as well.
Also, you blackmailed Gabby. That was so weird and sick, dude. You blackmailed her and you know you did.
And that was pretty much it for today's video. I really want to know what you guys think about this, so let me know in the comments down below. If you liked watching this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I post new videos every single day. Alright, bye.
Yeah, it's like they're just doing too much. I'm like, ain't nobody got time for all that. But anyways, no, it was a good video. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed giving out my commentary and stuff. So anyways, and that being said, yeah, guys, make sure if you haven't, go subscribe to Ray's channel, Hot Tea. Make sure you subscribe to her personal channel, Ray Rahimi, and her business channel, Build Your Pocket. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.